The Nanking Massacre, also known as the Rape of Nanking, is one of the darkest chapters in modern history. Taking place over 6 weeks from December 1937 to January 1938, during the Second Sino-Japanese War, this atrocity saw Imperial Japanese forces unleash unspeakable violence upon the Chinese city of Nanking, now Nanjing. The massacre resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of civilians and prisoners of war, along with countless acts of sexual violence, looting, and destruction. The tragedy is a haunting reminder of the horrors of war and the depths of human cruelty. This is the story of Nanking, a tale of devastation, survival, and the enduring struggle for justice and remembrance. The context: the road to Nanking. In the 1930s, Japan sought to expand its empire across Asia, targeting China as a crucial part of its ambitions. The Second Sino-Japanese War, which began in 1937, was marked by fierce battles and atrocities. After capturing Shanghai in late 1937, the Japanese Imperial Army turned its sights on Nanking, then the capital of China. The city's defenses crumbled under the onslaught. By December 13, 1937, Japanese forces had captured Nanking, and what followed was a 6-week reign of terror. Soldiers, emboldened by their superiors and fueled by a sense of impunity, turned the city into a living hell. The Nanking Massacre unfolded with horrifying brutality, leaving an indelible scar on the city and its people. Mass executions. After the city's surrender, Japanese forces systematically rounded up Chinese soldiers who had laid down their arms, along with civilians suspected of supporting the resistance. These individuals were taken to the outskirts of the city and executed en masse. In some cases, thousands were killed in a single day, their bodies dumped into rivers, ditches, or mass graves. Estimates of the death toll vary, but historians generally agree that between 200,000 and 300,000 people lost their lives during the massacre. Rape and sexual violence. One of the most infamous aspects of the Nanking tragedy was the widespread sexual violence perpetrated by Japanese soldiers. Women of all ages, from young girls to elderly grandmothers, were brutally assaulted. Reports indicate that as many as 80,000 women were raped during the massacre. Many were subsequently murdered to eliminate witnesses. Pregnant women were subjected to horrific mutilations, and entire families were slaughtered if they tried to protect their loved ones. The sheer scale of sexual violence in Nanking remains one of the darkest aspects of human history. Looting and arson. The Japanese army systematically looted Nanking, stripping homes, businesses, and cultural institutions of their valuables. Priceless artifacts, artworks, and historical treasures were stolen or destroyed. Soldiers set fire to entire neighborhoods, reducing much of the city to rubble. The destruction extended beyond material loss, targeting the cultural identity and spirit of the Chinese people. While the Japanese authorities attempted to suppress the truth, the horrors of Nanking were documented by survivors, foreign residents, and even some Japanese soldiers who later spoke out. One of the most famous witnesses to the Nanking Massacre was John Rabe, a German businessman and member of the Nazi Party. Rabe, along with other foreign nationals, established the Nanking Safety Zone, a refuge for Chinese civilians during the chaos. Rabe used his status as a Nazi to shield thousands of Chinese citizens from violence, often placing himself in harm's way. His detailed diaries provide some of the most comprehensive first-hand accounts of the atrocities committed during the massacre. An American missionary, Minnie Vautrin, worked tirelessly to protect women and children, offering refuge at Ginling College, where she served as dean. Vautrin's writings reveal the immense courage and heartbreak she experienced as she tried to save lives in the face of overwhelming violence. Survivors of the massacre, many of whom bore physical and emotional scars for the rest of their lives, provided chilling accounts of the events. Their stories, passed down through generations, serve as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Denial and justice, the struggle for accountability. In the aftermath of World War II, the Nanking Massacre became a key focus of the International Military Tribunal for the Far East, often referred to as the Tokyo Trials. Several Japanese military leaders were tried and convicted for war crimes, including atrocities committed in Nanking. General Matsui Iwane, who oversaw the invasion of Nanking, was sentenced to death and executed in 1948. Despite these efforts, justice for the victims of the massacre has been incomplete. Some Japanese officials and historians have downplayed or denied the scale of the atrocities, sparking ongoing disputes between Japan and China. The issue remains a point of tension in international relations, with calls for acknowledgement and apology often met with resistance. The Nanking Massacre left an indelible mark on history, shaping Chinese national identity and its relationship with Japan. In the decades since the tragedy, efforts to preserve the memory of Nanking have taken many forms. The Nanjing Massacre Memorial Hall. Established in 1985, this museum in Nanjing serves as a somber reminder of the massacre. Through artifacts, photographs, and survivor testimonies, it keeps the memory of the victims alive. Education and awareness. Efforts to include the Nanking Massacre in school curricula and public discourse aim to ensure that future generations understand the consequences of unchecked militarism and hatred. Cultural reflections. Films, books, and documentaries such as Iris Chang's The Rape of Nanking have brought the story to global audiences, highlighting the importance of confronting historical atrocities. The Nanking Massacre stands as a stark reminder of humanity's capacity for both cruelty and compassion. It teaches us that the importance of acknowledgement. Denying atrocities or minimizing their impact deepens the wounds of survivors and obstructs the path to reconciliation. The cost of war. The massacre highlights the catastrophic consequences of war on civilians, underscoring the need for vigilance in protecting human rights. Conclusion. Remembering Nanking. The Nanking Massacre is more than a historical event. It is a profound tragedy that continues to resonate across generations. Its victims and survivors deserve to be remembered, not only as a warning of the depths to which humanity can sink, but also as a call to action to ensure that such horrors are never repeated. By confronting the truth of Nanking, we honor those who suffered and affirm our commitment to building a world where such atrocities have no place. In the shadow of devastation, the light of remembrance must shine brightly, illuminating the path to justice, reconciliation, and peace.